structure, let's quickly talk about few new additions in JavaScript, that is flat and flatMap methods. And why I am saying these are the new additions, because these methods got introduced in ES 2019. So that is pretty recent, right? So let's see like how these method works. Okay? So for that, let's take an example of an array. Okay? So let's take an array which have some deeply nested values. Okay, so let's say we have an array which have another arrays. So in this one, 1 2, let's add, and 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so I'll add 4 5 outside, and then again 6, apologize for that. Okay, 6 comma 7, and then let's add some more elements outside. Okay, 8 comma 9. So let's say you want to get all these elements in just one single array. You want to pull out these elements out of this array and you want to place them inside this global array, right? How you can do that? So for that we can make use of flat method, which is pretty straightforward. Let me quickly show you. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this array method and I'll call the flat method in it. Okay, and this time finally we are not going to pass any callback function in it. And as you can see, our array got flattened here. So now we don't have any deeply nested array, right? So all the elements got exposed in the outer array itself. Or we can say it got flattened. Okay, so there is one thing which we have to see. Okay, so this is one method, like this is one way of using the flat method. Okay, so now what if we have even more deeply nested array? So let's wrap these two elements inside of another array. Okay, and then this 7 inside of another array. Now if you see, we started getting to see a problem here, right? So the flat method was flattening the first level of the elements. Okay, but it was unable to flatten the even more deeply nested arrays, right? So as you can see, we have 1 4 5 6 8 9, but still 7 and 2 3 are in an array, right? So for that we have a parameter called depth inside of this flat method. Okay, so here we have to pass the depth, like how much deeper we want to go into the array in order to flatten that. Okay, so by default its value will be 1, that is it flattened the first level of the array. Okay, now since it is the second level, so we have to pass 2 here. Okay, now if you see, our array got flattened again. The whole array got flattened. So now let's just wrap this one again inside of an array, and then you will see now every other element is in the outside array, in the parent array, but still there is one element which is still in an array, right? So to unwrap that, we can go even more deeper. We can pass 3 in order to flatten all the elements. Okay, or in order to expose all the elements into the parent array. Okay, so this is how we can make use of flat method. Okay, so I think this is not the like what it is, this example is not making much more sense. Then let's just create an example quickly. So let's create user. Okay, and then inside this array users, let's make it, okay, users is already available, so just let's make it user. Okay, so inside this array we will pass some objects. Okay, and here let's just pass, let's say name Raunak, name Raj, and then name Sam. Okay, now let's just pass their winning scores. Winning. Okay, so we will keep it an array. Let's say they have played, let's say football or soccer. Okay, and they scored some points, right? So Raunak have scored 1 goal, and then 3 goals, and then 5 goals, and then 6 goals. Okay, now Raj have scored. Let's copy this whole array and then let's just paste it quickly here and here. Okay, so now Raj have scored 6 and 2 and 8 and 9. Okay, Sam have scored 5 5 5 5 in all the innings. Okay, so yeah, now what we will do, we will basically use a map method, right, in order to iterate over the elements. So let's just quickly use it. lg user dot map. So from map method, what we want is, we want the winning scores arrays from every object, right? So let's just quickly pull out the winning scores array from all the objects. Winning scores. Okay, and for this we have to pass it inside of the callback function. So yeah, now I think you started to seeing like where this example is going, right? So what we can do, we have a users array which basically contains objects, right? The object 1, object 2, object 3. So what we did, we have a key in all these objects, but which stores the array. Okay, and we want to pull out all these arrays and we want to store them into a one single array. Okay, then how we can do that? So first let's just quickly store it into a separate variable. Okay, let's say all scores. Okay, and we'll just store it here because map will return a new array, right? So now what we can do, we can make use of the chaining, the power of chaining the methods. Okay, so we can simply use flat in it. Okay, like so. And now as you can see, we started getting the flattened array. Since it was just one level deep, so we don't have to pass any parameter in it. Okay, so flattening like this without any parameter for just one level of elements is totally fine. And we started getting our elements in just one single array. Okay, so this is all about flat method. Now we have also another method which got introduced in ES 2019, which is flatMap. And why this flatMap was introduced? Because you will find these cases more often where we have to flatten the array after using the map. Okay, where you will be using the map method and then you will be flattening the array. Okay, in future when you start working in the industry, you will find most of the use cases where you have to implement the solution like this. Okay, so that is why, to solutionize this, to like enhance the performance, the JavaScript introduced the flat map method. So this method came with the improved performance. It will act as a combined function which will hold the functionality of flat and map method together. Okay, we will pass a callback function like a map method and we can flatten the array like a flat method. Okay, so let me show you how we can do that. Okay, so let's use all scores 2, and then instead of this map I will use flat map. Okay, so just like map, I'll pass the callback function here and then I'll just remove this flat method from it. Okay, so instead of passing two different methods one after another, we can use just single method which will do the work for these two methods. Okay, now if you log this one out, then you will see. Let's see quickly. Okay, so now we are still getting the same result as we were getting in line number 605. Okay, like the result which we were getting in all scores, we are getting the exact same results in all scores too. Okay, so this is all about flat and flat map. But there is one thing which I wanted to tell you guys, like flat map will only flatten the first level of the array. Okay, if the array is one level deep, okay, it won't flatten the array if it is more deeper than one level. Okay, so for that you can go with the uh, map and the flat methods combination, or chaining also, so to say. Okay, where you can simply pass the depth and then you can flatten the array. Okay, but if you don't want to use this, and if your array contains only one level deeper elements, then you can obviously go ahead and use this flat map method. Okay, so yeah, these are the use cases of flat and flat map method. With this, yeah, we have finished this lecture. So now let's jump into the next one. So see you there.